Okay, let's start by introducing or reading the case study that we have and the complications that we are going to cover. First of all, we are going to cover the full types of modifications or all of the modifications that we have in terms of contract modifications as per IFRS 15. Number two, the most important thing for me is to make sure that we are understanding the case, we are understanding how to analyze the case in order to determine which type of modification do we have. Because according to the type of modification, we are going to determine the type of accounting that we are going to do. So each type of modification will have its relevant type of accounting. So this is very important. If you didn't determine correctly the type of modification, then your accounting will not be correct. So let's start. Assume that an entity promises to sell 120 products to a customer at a price of 12,000 currency units. Let's assume that it is $12,000, which means that if you are going to sell 120 products at a value of $12,000, so the cost or the price per one unit is $100 per one unit. The products are transferred to the customer over a 6-month period. So this will be the delivery term and the delivery period to the customer. The entity transfer the control. This is very important. When the entity is going to transfer the control of this unit to the customer, the entity is going to transfer the control of each product at a point in time, which means that once the entity delivers the product to the customer, so the control in this point of time transferred to the customer. After the entity has transferred control of 60 products to the customer, the contract is modified. So when the contract is modified after the first batch, which is 60 units, the contract is modified to require the delivery of an additional, so there is additional products, an additional 30 products. So the total number of units to be delivered so far under the original product and as per the new modification is 120 plus 30. So the total will be 150 identical products to the customer. The additional 30 products were not included in the initial contract. So this is amendment. Assume that 10 units from the additional order were delivered. So let's assume that 10 units were already delivered to the customer from this additional product and services. Now, let's analyze the given financial information in this case in order to start determining what type of modifications we have. The original product was included a quantity of how many units? 120 units. So this is the original product or original contract that we have. And the price of this original product, how much it was? It was $100 per one unit. So we are going to say $100 per unit. This is the price of the original product. So the value so far will be simply 120 times 100 equal $12,000. This is the total value of the original product. Then we have a delivery period for this original contract, 6 months. And one more important information, that the control is being transferred to the customer once the entity delivers the product and the services to the customer. So this is very important because in step number 5 in the 5 steps model, revenue is being recognized maybe at a point of time or maybe over time. In this case, revenue is recognized at a point of time. And this is very clear that the revenue is recognized at the time of delivery because at the time of the delivery, the control is transferred to the customer. Units already transferred. How many units already transferred from the original contract? It is 60 units. This was the original contract. From the original contract. And this is the first batch. The additional units that were not included in the original contract, how many they were? It was 30 units. This is additional units not included. So the total units so far in 2 contracts is the sum of the 120 units, which is the original product, original contract, and the additional units, which is 30 units. So the total will be 150. Now let's calculate the revenue from the original contract. The revenue from the original contract, we have transferred 60 units. This is the first batch to the customer. So from the original contracts, we had 60 units. This was transferred, and the price for each one of these units was 100. So the total revenue from the first batch of the original contract is $6,000. Assume also that units already transferred from the additional contract. How many it was transferred? 10 units already transferred. So these are the full information that we have. Now, in order to determine the type of modification, we need to go through a series of questions that we have explained before. But before doing this, let's complete the case study that we have. So we have one scenario, case 1, and after that, we are going to start another different new scenario, which is case number B, after finishing the first scenario, which is case number A. And both scenarios are different.